minds, and hearts. Lord, lead us with strength and knowledge to make the best decisions for Summerfield. Lord, lead us to unite each other and the citizens of Summerfield. Lord, help us to understand that unity is not created by one person, but by all of us working together. Lord, help us to faithfully pray, show love, mercy, and grace to everyone. Help us to remove the I and insert we as we continue to grow into our united town. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Ask Councilman Doggett if he will lead us in the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Begin with our introductions. Mr. Ross, can we start with you?
Twig Rollins, Town Manager.
Jennifer Kelly, Finance Officer.
John Doggett.
Heath Clay.
Tim Sussels.
Lynn Williams-Devaney.
John Hamilton.
Jim Hoffman, Town Attorney.
Jeff Bacon, Acting Town Clerk.
Thank you. We'll move on now to item number 4, our consent agenda approval. Does anyone have any conversation, discussions, or anyone like to make a motion?
Mr. Mayor, should we announce that Councilman Robinson is not here?
We do need to note that Janelle Robinson is not here. That's really all I can say to the floor chiefs.
She's on vacation.
Okay, she's on vacation.
As far,
Thank you. Item number 4.
as far as the consent agenda goes, there were a couple of things I saw in there. Just, I think the closed session for June 6th is one of the things we're voting on. Is that right? June 6th is actually, I think it has Whitaker and Hoffman on there, but I don't believe either were present during that session.
Also got the wrong location on it as well.
Is there, okay. Okay, good. So, we would just need to change those. And, Mr. Clerk, you hear all that? The
Yep,
location?
different locations, Scott and Jim not there. Town Hall.
That was a town on that. And then the next notes that are labeled June 6, 2024, accurately have at the bottom that it's June 11th, but I don't think the notes actually reflect that. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't think the title reflects that it's June 11th. So we would just want to change the date of that as closed session minutes. Is that what you all saw too? And then, with that said, I want to make sure we add one more thing to the agenda. Just there's public comments are number 8, so I'd like to add 8B, just an opportunity for the town to respond to public comments. It's an opportunity for transparency, so when we're able to do it, so I just want to make sure that's something we've always had, and I like to, as far as I know, and so I like to make sure those are added to it.
Well, we haven't always had that, and you guys discussed it last month, and I thought we decided to not do it.
Well, I move that the agenda be modified as I read off.
So is that a second, Mr.
I'm
Councilman?
fine, that's a second.
Okay.
Well, do we have a motion to accept the consent agenda as amended? That's really what we need.
And that's what I said. I move to accept the agenda as modified, as I've talked about it.
Everyone understand all the amendments? You need to hear them again. Okay.
Yes.
All good? Any further discussion? Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? And the motion carries. Item number 5, announcements.
Mr. Mayor, I have a few announcements. First of all, I'd like to thank staff and the citizens for the tree lighting. That was amazing. All the citizens that came out, I think they really had a good time. I know the kids did, all the ones that performed, and the singers, the dancers, the cheerleaders, the kids up there with Santa and all that. It was great. And staff, you did a marvelous job, and it looked amazing. Also, just wanted to let everybody know that council will be in the Stokesdale Christmas Parade, which is this coming Saturday, December 14th at 2 o'clock. And I know that's a big event for them. I think that's one of the only showcase events that they do. So just as a neighboring town, I'd like to support them. But I know it's always fun for the kids. Last year they had umbrellas upside down to catch all their candy. And also just put it on your calendar because 2025 will be here before we can turn around. May 16th and 17th, that's a Friday and Saturday, bless you, is Founders Day. And Founders Day Committee has met twice, and they're very excited about a lot of new things that they want to do and bring to the table. And so just please mark your calendars for that. Also, if you haven't been to our town website, you can vote on for a person for the Grand Marshal for this year's Founders Day Parade. If you go to News and Notices on the website and then click on Founders Day, or go to the bottom and you'll see where you can vote. The deadline is December 20th, so that's not this Friday, but the following Friday, because we got to get things going with the committee. But just remember to do that, and you can do it online. And then also, I just wanted to make an announcement about some committee openings. Excuse me. As for the planning board, we have 2 alternate positions that are open. We have 1 board of adjustment. There's 1 on the finance committee, and we have 2 on the Founders Day committee. This is really fun, so you should join that one. The history committee has 2 openings, and the Trails and Open Space has 1 opening. So if you're interested in any one of those, you can contact me and I'll get you to the right person, or you can contact Mr. Twig Rollins and our town manager. Any one of us will be more than willing to help if you have any questions about that. And I think that's all.
Any other announcements?
A reminder that the town of Summerfield will be hosting a rabies clinic with Guilford County Animal Services at the Community Center on January 18th. So I just wanted to remind, is that right, Mr. Bacon?
Yeah, January 18th, 9 o'clock to noon. We met with the animal control today. They're excited about this location. They think it's going to work perfect. They've closed places for troubled animals, and it's a drive-through mostly.
Great.
So 9 o'clock to noon on the 18th.
Thank you.
Right here.
Any other announcements? We'll move on to item 5, our emergency services report, Mr. Dahl.
The Summerfield Fire District reported the following for November 2024. Fire-related calls 33, EMS-related calls 61, other calls 44, for a total of 138 calls. 8 child safety seats were installed. The Guilford County Sheriff's Department reported the following for November 2024. 250 calls and 15 case reports.
Great, thank you. Item number 7, our committee reports, minutes, financial reports. Have any committee members here like to give any reports, any at all? Any discussion on item number 7 from the council?
Just curious on the financial reports. You might not know this, but I was told at some point we used to get a copy of maybe the check register every month. I don't know if that's accurate or not. Does anybody know if that's something that used to be provided to us?
No, but I'm happy to start preparing that for you for the next council meeting.
Maybe we could just look into it to see if that's something that we used to do. If so, yeah, anything that we can do.
I mean, it makes sense to have that, so I'd be
Yeah.
happy to make sure it's included in the next one.
Yeah, that'd be great to start that. That's wonderful. Thank you.
Any other discussion on town activity reports or council, for the council?
Oh, I will say the audit, thanks to tireless efforts of Dana Luther was submitted by the deadline. And we are working with the auditor to try and make sure that he can be here with us at the next council meeting in January to present his findings on that.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
And if you have any other questions about the report that was here, just let me know. If I don't know the answer, I'll be happy to do a deep dive for you.
We appreciate it.
Move on to item number 8, our public comments. Please come up, give us your name and your address, and your 3 minutes will start, and you can talk on any topic that you like. First we have Mr. Dwayne Crawford.
Dwayne Crawford, 1106 NC Highway 150 West. Grand Marshal Founders Day, I nominate Danny Nelson. He's been here engaged with the town since almost the very beginning. Not the first day, but close to the first day. Town Hall, he's foundational on that. The first fishing in the park kids thing, he came in and cleaned up around the pond because it wasn't going to happen. He came the day before, cleaned up. He always volunteers whenever there's a problem, and I think he'd make a good Grand Marshal. The main reason I got it, well, actually, that's the main reason. My next reason, new business 10F, this 501c3 had no problem with us engaging, contracting with, entering a joint undertaking agreement with an established nonprofit. We've done that before in the past. But I have a problem if this town is going to get into the business of helping organize, form, coddle, curate a new business. That needs to happen independent of the town. Thank you.
Lexi Klein.
Lexi Klein, 7966 Highfield Road. Councilman Hamilton, at the last council meeting, I stood in this very spot to express my concerns and share verbatim statements that came from you, statements made in a public capacity by an elected official accountable to the community. These were words that you both spoke and wrote freely of your own accord. I was shocked and appalled when, instead of engaging with the issues raised or offering clarification, you responded with claims that my words were defamatory and possibly actionable. This reaction does not embody leadership. Rather, it reveals a profound discomfort with the very foundation of public office, accountability. Criticism is part and parcel of representing the people. Everyone sitting up there with you today has dealt with it in some form or fashion during their term. It is the citizens' duty and right to speak up when leaders' actions and words diverge from the best interests of the community. By labeling my comments defamatory, you send a chilling message that citizens who question or criticize might be punished for exercising their rights. This approach is unacceptable. It undermines not just the individual voicing concerns, but the integrity of our entire democratic process. Elected office is not a pedestal that shields you from dissent. It is a position that demands transparency, resilience, and a willingness to face criticism, even harsh criticism, without seeking recourse in threats. If you feel that honest feedback is intolerable, or if you find the basic principle of public scrutiny burdensome, then it may be time for you to reflect on whether this role is truly the right fit for you. The people of Summerfield deserve representatives who listen, respond, and above all, respect their right to question and critique. Our democracy depends on it.
Teresa Perryman.
Teresa Berryman, 7401 Greenlawn Drive. I don't even know where to begin on this agenda. One of them is 10F. I will hit on that 501c3. The first thing I ask is, what's the problem? You know, what are we trying to fix here? Government is not in the business of creating businesses. Don't know if y'all know it, but there's already 88 501c3 in Summerfield alone. 88 of them. I don't know why we, the town, is trying to create another one. Why are we trying to cut into private sector businesses. Is this going to be another payroll item? But my main thing is it sounds too close. Friends of Summerfield sounds too close to a previous organization that was called Friends for Summerfield. It's too close to that. And that was another group that was in 2007. And I'm sorry, but it leaves a bad taste in my mouth. They were doing things that were underhanded and later caught. And I don't want to go into it right now with y'all. If y'all need to know, you're welcome to call me. So definitely Friends of Summerfield is too close for that group. And also, I still got a minute. There's things on here on the proposed events for 2025. You got an Easter egg hunt. Why are we taking away from the fire department and the churches? I mean, they already have lots of churches in this area that do the Easter egg hunts. I'd rather donate my money to them than using my tax dollars, $1,600 for that. You've got a fall festival. I think the Summerfield Merchants already had a fall festival, I think. I'm not really sure about that. And then you've got a $1,500 for back to school event for teachers. Is that only going to Summerfield, or is that going to all of Gifford County? There's a lot of more schools in Gifford County that is financially could use it better than Summerfield Elementary or Northwest or Northern. And then you don't even have the amount for the dog show. All these are just as my items for tonight to be discussed. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Perryman. Dick Foreman.
Dick Foreman, 3507 Windswept Drive, Summerfield. Thanks for giving me 3 minutes to speak tonight, and I assure you that I don't plan to use it all. And I want to thank each of you for the things you do to make our town a great community to live in. While Summerfield has existed for many years, it officially didn't become a town until about maybe 30 years ago. I don't know the exact date, but maybe 1996. And I was already a resident then. In recent years, Summerfield has become a very desirable location for those seeking to escape the city life of Greensboro. And a major reason for that is these people view Summerfield as a very desirable place to live. And part of the reason for that is the volunteerism by many of our citizens have helped make and enrich our community. And it has helped a lot of the new residents come to town. And many of our volunteers, we really, in the last 6 months, we had a lot of volunteers that help us deal with some situations that was unexpected. And that's been very helpful to the town and made things a lot smoother than it could have been. I know that council frequently recognizes the contributions of volunteerism in our town. And because they have enriched our community in many ways. On October 5th, we lost one of our most active volunteers, Trudy Whitaker, very suddenly and unexpectedly. And she did many things to help our community over the many years she lived here. For your consideration, I'd like to propose to you that our council establish a Lifetime Service Award to be presented periodically to individuals that have helped on a continuous basis to make Summerfield a better place and had made special contributions to our community. And Trudy actually has done this. Unfortunately, she's not with us anymore. This award should be based on criteria developed and adopted by the town council. You five that are sitting here plus Janelle. The award, in my opinion, should be just a simple single plaque that perhaps is designed by one of our many artistic people in our community. And it should be displayed in the town hall. Recipient's name and the date of the award should be engraved on the plaque, and it be a permanent record of the history of that person's exceptionalism to our town. I propose that the award be called the Trudy Whitaker Lifetime Service Award to Summerfield, and I further propose that Trudy Whitaker be the first recipient of that award posthumously. I'm sure that I'm willing to work, and I'm sure that many others are willing to work to New Trudy to make this thing happen. And I hope that you people on the council will support that position. So with that, my clock hasn't started yet, but I know I haven't used all 3 minutes. So if anyone has any comments or questions, fire at me.
Thank you, Mr. Ford.
Is there support for that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Is that a majority?
Yeah.
I'll call you.
Can I then ask you to instruct our new town manager to work on that and get that done?
Yeah, I certainly think we might could bring that up under other business, but thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
That's all the public comments that I have. Did anyone turn one in that was missed?
I didn't turn one in, I wasn't gonna speak, but I just wanna make a quick comment, I'll write a sheet up for you. Don Mudelkin, 3406 Winslow Drive. I forgot about, Dwayne made a good point about Danny Nelson. Danny's forever accountable, gives his heart and soul to this town. He took care of his wife for so many years because she was incapacitated. He did that while also doing so many things for the town. So he was really doing things that he knew his family was first, and then also the town. His volunteerism was just I say outstanding. Danny ran for mayor, so he felt his heart. He really wanted to be a big part of the Summerfield, and he still is. So I think if you look back on all the years he's been involved in Summerfield, you can he came here and said what he felt because he believed in Summerfield, the town, as a citizen. So I think you can't, even if you disagree with some of his way of thinking, that's okay. None of you will agree on everything either, and I don't agree with all of you all the time either, with all of you. So that goes both ways. But I think Danny is a good candidate for this. So I just wanted to mention that. Thank you.
The added item 8B is opportunity for the council or staff to respond to public comments.
Well, I'll go ahead and say, as far as Dwayne Crawford and Mr. Wendell can talk about Danny Nelson, he is a very helpful guy, and he was one of the folks that came in and helped us volunteer here, so very thankful for him. I can definitely understand people wanting to have him in that spot. Ms. Klein, again, I understand that you're Councilman John Dockett's daughter. I want to be as respectful as I can. I do feel as though, again, you're angling to try to get into the Northwest Observer that Patty Stokes has. But again, I think town halls will be very helpful that allow us to have a little more discussion back and forth. As far as Ms. Perryman, I understand your concern about some of those things. And Mr. Fuller, that was seems like a very thoughtful idea.
You support it?
Yeah, from what I understand, she's probably one of the longest, she has been one of the longest serving folks, isn't it?
Very true.
Any other responses from council or staff? Moving on to item number 9, any old business? Anyone have any old business? Moving on to item number 10, new business. Item 10A, 2025 town meeting holidays calendar. Mr. Rollins.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, board. So the first item is the calendar. We need to adopt an official calendar to put out to the public, the sunshine list of y'all's meetings, and holidays calendar. Normally, the one big change I would notate is that in November, the second Tuesday in November is actually Veterans Day. So it is a slight change to the calendar there. So I would need a resolution, Mr. Mayor, to adopt this so we can formally put it out to the public, put it on our town website. So this would just be the official town meetings and the days that town hall would be closed for holidays.
And I have a comment to that as well. I am proposing that we don't have the July date as we did not have it last year. And in all the years that I've been on council, we haven't met in July, I think except for 1 year. I think that was my first year. And that would be take off July 8th. That's a period of time when staff can catch up. It's also when everybody can go on vacation and then come back refreshed and ready to go. So a little more flexibility that month. It's 1 month that the staff does not have to prepare.
So, Mr. Rollins, are you suggesting someone make a motion that we accept this, or
Yes,
do we
ma'am.
need to deal with these changes independently and vote on those, and then have a motion to vote on the whole calendar? Is that how you'd like to proceed, or?
I think it'd be best to make a motion amending this calendar, omitting the July, if that is the pleasure of the board.
Oh, I'll make a motion to, yeah, so,
Well, I think as long as everyone's giving it a thumbs up, we can get it amended and then make a motion to accept the whole thing.
okay.
Is everybody okay with not doing the July 8th meeting?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, any other discussion on the calendar?
No.
Okay, would someone like then to make a motion?
I can make a motion that we accept the calendar with the, the change of no meeting on July 8th. And then everybody notes that in November, due to Veterans Day, we will be on Wednesday.
Have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second, further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Item 10B, 2025 town events calendar, Mr. Rollins.
So in an effort to make sure the public is aware of all the many events that the town puts on, and for y'all to have it on the calendar as a courtesy, and us to be able to put it on our refrigerators and stuff like that, town staff put together an events calendar for the events for the upcoming year. It's really a courtesy thing, and we just wanted to officially put that out there for you all in any discussion you may have or changes you may have. But otherwise, we'd like to publish this and get it out, put it on our town website. We'll be mailing out a newsletter later this year. We'll also include that in that newsletter.
So I would say on this front, unless someone is opposed to it, no motion is required unless someone is opposed to a date. Just, you be able to go ahead and present it. Does anyone have any problems with any of these dates?
I have some questions. Which of these events, if any, are new for the upcoming year?
The Easter egg hunt and the fall harvest are the two new events.
The back to school teacher thing.
Back teacher. I have the events planner here, so I'm looking at her.
So the new events would be the car show, the vintage car show, the back to school that will support the teachers, the Easter egg hunt, and also the fall festival, because we didn't want to do a trunk or treat because all of the churches are doing trunk or treats.
Is the vintage car show part of the Touch a Truck?
Yes.
What about dog shows, isn't it?
That will be me also, yes, ma'am.
Oh,
Sorry, I don't have it in front of me, so please forgive me.
Yeah, I think that's all. Anyone
Is
have any?
this staff led event?
Yes, just like the touch a tree and, the touch a truck and Christmas tree lighting and all the other events.
Is this
And all these
discussed
sum
in the
up
budget?
to within the appropriate budget category?
Yes, sir.
Can I make one comment about the school thing? Being a teacher, I really appreciate that. But that August 3rd date, there's a lot of families that they're doing their last minute vacations. So I just don't know about attendance. Just saying, there's one thing you might look at, the Summerfield Baptist Church or Summerfield Baptist, whichever one. Thank you. I know.
Summerfield First Baptist.
Okay, okay. So that church on Scalesville Road, the Baptist Church on Scalesville Road, they always do like a prayer walk, but I think it's more in the fall, or I can't remember if it's right before school starts or
It's the
that.
same week of Founder's Day. I think
Yeah.
it kicks off that week.
Is it that week?
Yeah, I think it's that week.
Okay.
Lynn, what about when they do like popsicles in the park for like the new students at Summerfield? Like around that date or something?
Yeah,
Because I think it's like the weekend before school starts.
it is the week before. That might be a better, that's a great idea. I can find out from our PTA, but definitely you're gonna get more teachers, families the week before school rather than that first weekend in August. A lot of people,
Two questions on that.
yes, sir.
One, since we're possibly unsure of the date, could we make that TBA just like the summer shred day?
That's fine with me.
Yes, sir.
And two, the back to school event for the teachers, what's the goal? Is it some type of fundraising? Is it, are we doing something with school supplies? What's our goal there?
The goal for that was to help a lot of the teachers create a stockpile for the students, because sometimes some students come to school and they don't have all of their supplies. So a lot of the teachers have to go to a warehouse to pick up supplies. So I was just thinking that would help a lot of the teachers, because there's always going to be back to school drives for the students.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? So with that one change, is everyone else comfortable with the calendar? Okay, thanks, sir. Item 10C, 2025-26 Budget Development Calendar. Mr. Robbins.
Yes, sir. So the budget calendar, I'm just doing yours, Madam Finance Officer. I can't keep up. The budget process, I anticipate, because we have a new finance officer, because we have a new staff, we have new department heads, is going to take longer. And so this is a proposed calendar for you all to consider adopting these dates. You don't have to adopt them, but put them in your personal calendar so you're available. And I'll just kind of go through these because it does concern the public too. Adoption of the public calendar will be tonight. Department heads present their budgets to the budget committee, which is basically going to be the finance officer and me, and I'm going to ask a couple of commissioners to sit in on that just to hear the department heads what things they want for their departments in the coming year. And then on the 11th, I know you already have this on your calendar, we have our planning budget retreat already scheduled that Saturday. And then on the February the 11th will be a public hearing for the public to come in and tell you what they want in their 25-26 budget. And then a budget workshop on February the 18th to talk about that. Then you'll have the department heads, the budget committee, your own personal, and the public's, and start talking about which ones you want myself and the finance officer to try to put a budget around for the year. And that's going to give us a couple of months to work on it, and then the formal presentation by myself, the budget officer, on May the 13th, then give a couple of weeks for y'all to digest that. If you so desire to have a budget workshop on May the 27th, to fine tune things. If you're ready to move forward, then we can schedule the public hearing at that time on June the 10th and adoption. That also, just by state statute, you have to have it adopted by June 30th. So that gives you a little bit of leeway if there's some things that y'all want to fine tune, massage. So I'm trying to build in plenty of time and give you some dates locked on the calendar for that. So that is my recommendation for y'all to consider adopting. That way the public gets input, y'all get input, and you got plenty of time to digest it, plenty of time to ask questions, and for us to do research, because it's just not a one and done, present the budget to y'all and y'all gonna rubber stamp it.
May I make a comment, please?
Sure.
So we had talked about as a council in 2025 trying to just do workshops. And we had thrown some dates out. I think this is the 4th Tuesday of the month, if I have that right. And so one of those was May 27th. So instead of just doing other business, if we chose, we could just work on the budget that night. And that's fine. We don't have to designate.
Yes, ma'am. Madam Mayor Pro Tem, basically a workshop, y'all can work on anything you want to dive deeper into. So you don't have to stick to a certain thing, but
Okay.
I would lock this date away. I would recommend you lock this date away, because I'm gonna give you the budget on the 13th. Y'all gonna take that 3-ring binder and go back
Okay.
and mark it all up like you normally do with your agenda, but in more detail and have questions, and that's for us to get down and dirty and answer questions and stuff for y'all.
Any other discussion?
I'm good.
Do we need to formally adopt this, or we just give the thumbs up on that?
I don't need a formal adoption, Mr. Mayor.
Right.
If y'all are good with it, I just ask that you put it in your personal calendars and lock these dates away. I'm trying to give you as much pre-planning as we can for the future.
Thank
Your
you.
benefit and balance your work life.
These, Mr. Mayor, these will be posted?
Yes, sir. We'll post them on the public website, on our website, and on our Facebook.
Item 10D, Founder's Day fireworks contract approval. Mr. Rollins, Mr. Vaney.
So, the Founder's Day Committee has met a couple of times, as the Madam Mayor Pro Tem has said, and one of the things that the committee is wanting to do is add fireworks to this year. And so there was contact made by the staff of a fireworks company. We got a price. We took it before the Founder's Day Committee. They voted in favor of moving forward with this and the price. So we got a formal contract. In your consideration tonight is that contract. In order to lock in the date, we need to go ahead and approve this contract with the fireworks vendor in order to get them. It's a very busy time of year, the time that we have the Founder's Day Festival. And this was the least expensive. We got 3 quotes. One of them was $20,000. We did consider where to have it. And the athletic park is the best place, the safest place. We have to have a certain range of having distance from fireworks to where the nearest public is, and also our insurance does cover it under our liability policy. So what's in front of you is consideration for approval of this contract to add another special thing to the Founder's Day. It'd be on Saturday night at 9 o'clock. Or close to that, as soon as it's dark. And I might add, where the Founder's Day also committee approved to look at getting a band for that night that would be down at the athletic park. So the band would be first, sort of like a music in the park. We're just transferring locations for that one night. So the events of Founder's Day will be over about 4 or 5 o'clock. The band, we think, will start about 7, play for 2 hours, and then the fireworks.
Okay. Mr. Crawford.
Have we done enough, do we have enough knowledge, or have we done enough homework to have a reasonable high degree of confidence there won't be any conflicts with the fire marshal or anything like that? I don't know what's involved in fireworks. suspect something regulates that.
Mr. Crawford is correct. It does require a permit from the fire marshal's office, and part of this contract does address that they will get their fire permit and make sure they're in compliance with all state and local regulations.
Great, thank you. Any other discussion from the council?
And you said liability insurance covers it.
Yes, sir.
That's great. That was one of my first questions.
In addition to that, I just wanted to ask one question, and I know it's not in tonight, but the R&K, the rides vendor, we're gonna need to lock them into, so would that be in January?
As soon as we can get a contract from the amusement vendor, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So this was put out for bid?
It
Yes.
wasn't a bid, it was quoted.
Okay.
We were under the $30,000. You have to put it out for bid when you're $30,000 or you anticipate the project's gonna be over $30,000. We complied with the town's purchasing policy, which is to get 3 quotes for
Awesome.
anything over $1,000.
And in the agreement says there will not be any penalty to customers should either or both shows be canceled due to inclement weather?
Unfortunately, that's the way fireworks vendors work.
But it says 2 shows. You said 1.
He's not supposed to do 1 show.
It says 2. The other concern I have is that isn't there a horse farm right on the other side of the woods from the park?
Yeah.
And I'm worried about that. I'm worried about, there was a turkey shoot not far from there that got shut down because of noise. Dogs, 50% of all dogs are terrified of fireworks. And also, because I thought about Trudy, because the wild animals, a lot of them abandon their nests and stuff and don't come back. Being a rural community, while I love fireworks myself, I have to worry about the animals and the farmers and things of that nature around. And I'm not comfortable doing this.
Other discussion?
Is there 2 or just 1? That's it, 2.
It's just 1, that's a typo.
And you mentioned 9 o'clock on Saturday night. Would this additional event take away from the Founder's Day in the downtown area?
No, sir. All the events are over by about 4 o'clock on Saturday, according to everybody that sits on the committee who's been here many years prior to me.
Any other discussion?
Is there, I wonder if there's a way we could talk to the owners of that farm?
Right beyond that is another cow farm. Truman Dog's cows are really close to that as well. They're going down Wintry Road, which isn't far at all. And they're running 100 to 200 head. And then just beyond that is actually our farm. So we've got, not nearly that number, but we've got horses and cows.
Right.
And on a good day, we can hear the ball field from our house to people playing. So it's,
I kind of like the idea of the fireworks for everybody. I mean, we've got people here vote for putting things for the people's yards, or at least the right of way. It looks like in the yards we've had folks vote for high density, and a lot of folks didn't want that. I think for the fireworks, it would be a fun thing. It's one night, it's only for a little bit of time. Kind of like that idea.
Mr. Crawford, do you have input?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and raise it. Was the 50 acres of this park, was it considered in the discussion? Was it a potential venue for
The what?
the park? We got 50 acres
This
right
park?
here. Yes.
That was, this particular park was not brought up at the Founder's Day committee meeting. They talked about the ball fields at the schools, but, they weren't sure, because then you have to get Gilbert County Schools involved and all that, and that's a whole nother ball of wax to deal with.
It's probably nothing, but I thought, I've been to California one time and watched fireworks over a lake. And there's nothing like watching both. They fireworks go in both directions if you get
Thank
the
you.
mirror.
Thank I agree with you, thank you.
Does this need a vote, or is this a consensus, or is this part of
This
the
would
founder's
be-
budget?
This would need a vote because the town is contracting with this vendor. Any contracts that are signed by the town have to be authorized by this council first.
And when do you need this by? You need this tonight?
Unfortunately, we need it tonight in order to lock in the vendor.
And this half hour, something like that? If I was just.
About 15 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes.
15, 20 minutes for what? I'm sorry.
The actual
It would
show
only
is,
be like
For
15
the last
minutes.
15 to 20.
I know that there's a horse farm right behind it. I knew, just,
And would this be at the end of the ball field, or closer to the road, where they're shooting? No idea.
we hadn't talked about that. I mean, certainly we could work with the vendor to ask him if he could do it up front, but he's gonna keep safety in mind first and foremost.
Any other discussion, or would someone like to make a motion?
Keith, you're sitting over there thinking hard.
Is it have we ever done this before?
No.
I don't think so, but it does sound awful.
It's been talked about for many years, in the Founder's Day Committee, but we just haven't done it in the past. It hasn't been like thought out in layers, I'll say, because the price was at 10 grand, and so that the money situation killed it. Whereas now, the guy that's willing to do it, he actually like teaches workshops, he trains people on how to do this as a business, and his price was at $5,500, I believe. And so we felt like, the committee felt like all of that was working. He was gonna do all the permitting, he was gonna be in charge, he does this as a business. He knows how to set it up with, he knows all the details. We felt like it was a great fit, and that's why the committee wanted to move forward with it, but,
Is everyone on the Founder's Day Committee in favor of this?
yes.
Any further discussion, or would someone like to make a motion?
Sorry, Tim, can I say something? I don't know if anybody's thought, okay.
So I know when I was in the meeting, I just thought of something, when you brought up the animal thing. There's a protected Seahawk that lives on top of the lights down there on SAP 3. Now this is back from Jeff Gordon's time when I was with SRA. The bird moved in, brought a lot of sticks with it, built a gigantic nest up there, made a ton of noise. I talked to Jeff about it. From what I understand, Jeff contacted the Division of Wildlife. They said there's a tracker on that bird that is protected. And then he informed us if anybody with SRA harassed, intimidated, or bothered the bird, that they would shut the park down. The bird came back this past season. I know we didn't discuss that at the meeting. And Mr. Dog had brought it up. It now hit me that there is a protected bird that lives on top of the light on the, I guess it'd be the third base side of SAP 3.
I almost feel like people should go to the baseball diamond in Greensboro and watch this fireworks.
Yeah.
As much as I would like to have it,
That's very good.
I'm a little concerned about it.
Yeah, I hear.
But they're loud.
And so, Mr. Rollins, if we put this off to January, there's no way that you'd be able to okay it then if we were to look into some of these things between now and then. I like this a lot. I just thought it'd be.
We can put it off, Councilman Hamilton, but, and I'm not trying to be pushy.
Yeah, no, I
We
get you.
may lose the date.
Gotcha.
So that's the connotation of
Because I
it.
guess they're going to be trying to fill dates for. Yeah.
It might be
Only
worth us
good
being a little
thing.
cautious.
Yeah, the only good thing is it's doubtful somebody's gonna come along and wanna book them for May the 17th. It's not like July the 4th or some other date, so, I mean, you run the risk.
Whatever the pleasure of the board is.
Maybe we could look into that and see if putting these off would violate anything. I mean, long as we're not trying to harass, intimidate, or,
Yeah, I'll call Division of Wildlife tomorrow and see if I can verify, I guess, the rumors I've heard from the past.
yeah, that'd be good, because we don't wanna act on just things we've heard, right? Just kind of verify them a little bit, that sounds good.
Yes, sir. I'll check into it.
I appreciate
So
that.
Yes, sir.
I'll ask one more time and to make sure, and then we'll move on to the next item. Is there anyone that would like to make a motion on item 10D? Okay,
Just make a motion to table it,
it
or?
doesn't need to be tabled. I mean, it can come back up whenever. Item 10E, voluntary annexation forms and processes. Mr. Ross?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. So we have some property owners who have expressed interest in what the process is for voluntary annexation into the town. We found out that we did not have any updated forms. And so what this is basically the forms that somebody who wanted to be voluntarily annexed into the town would fill out for y'all consideration and the process for those. This has been vetted by our current planner and in focus planning, and is compliant with North Carolina general statutes and our own ordinances. So it's, what we're asking for is adoption of this annexation petition, paperwork and process, so that we can get it out to the public. And I believe Madam Mayor Pro Tem has some personal knowledge of some people that are interested in moving forward fairly quickly with this.
Thank you, sir. Any discussion of the documents, or would anyone like to make a motion?
I'll make the motion that we approve this document to go into our policies. Is that the right word?
Just that we adopt the forms,
Just adopt the forms?
and process.
Okay.
Okay. Have a motion, we have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second, further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, and the motion carries. Item 10F, 501c3 Organization Friends of Summerfield Assistance, Mr. Rollins.
I know this is a hot topic, so please bear with me. So it was discovered that during the Founders Day Committee meetings that there are individuals who would like to donate money to certain things in town, but they don't have a vehicle for doing that and still get the tax deduction. So one of the things that was brought up was, could a 501c3 be formed? We're not forming one as a town. Let me say that again, we are not forming one as a town, but that one could be formed and the town board would support them forming something to the effect of possibly the Friends of Summerfield. The purpose of it would be able to take money in so somebody can get a tax deduction that would go to the benefit of the citizens of Summerfield. Some of the ideas were, if you wanted to donate money to have a park bench in honor of one of your loved ones at one of our parks, or you wanted to sponsor, say, a band or something. And so all this was to get y'all support, that you would support somebody wanting a group of individuals doing that. They would set up their own bylaws, they would set up their own policies and procedures and stuff. And we could just, if somebody came in and says, hey, I want to donate money for a bench at the park, we can say, go see this 501c3, this is in their wheelhouse.
Mr. Rollins, this is independent of the town?
Absolutely.
Not sponsored by the town?
1,000% independent. We have no say-so over what they do with their money, or how they do with their money, or anything.
Yeah, and I don't,
Greensboro beautiful.
yeah.
So there's really nothing for us to,
Personally, yeah, I don't, if such group existed and wanted to come and avail themselves to being willing to do that, I think then it would be an action item for us to consider. And really, not even then, because it's totally outside the realm of anything that we would do or touch. And, to Ms. Perryman's earlier point, if 88 of these type organizations already exist in Summerfield, there may already be one of those that if someone wanted to make a donation, they could make it through that group and it be a gift to the town. And I think we'd say, okay, unless there was some insurance or some exposure otherwise that we'd be exposed to. So, I mean, it's certainly a very worthy cause, but I think our action item on that would be consideration of acceptance of such gift. And outside of that, you know, any group of people could do any 501c3 that they want to do. That's just my opinion.
Are you familiar with these, and can you comment on anything the mayor just to share?
I think the mayor's 100% correct. I mean, one is we don't need to blur the lines between government and 501c3, but, and if there are 88 out there, maybe we can find one that is willing to.
Yeah, if we start taking votes on, yeah, we'll support them.
Right.
Even if we sit back here and nod our heads, yeah, we'll support them, then you're definitely showing favoritism. And then, you know, then that starts, and then there's the next thing that starts.
But maybe you know, you're bringing it up, it's not a bad idea to just encourage folks to look for those. No one in specific, like the mayor said, but just if they want to give, to look for those sort of organizations.
Yeah, it's just gonna be on the person who donates to do their due diligence, that they can earmark the money to go to something they want it to go to. We as a town can accept a donation, and, you know, from a business, they can do a business write-off. An individual, if they give it to the town, they don't get the tax deduction, so we just need to point them to one of these 88 501c3s.
So you're saying, and I'm trying to understand a little bit too, so you're saying that, you know, if somebody wants to make sure, you said earmark, that money goes to a particular spot, that those folks would know. So I don't know if we're able to do some sort of, you know, more like an educational page or something where we can instruct, not a particular place, but maybe, you know, I'm not sure how to.
Well, okay, so I have a question, comment. I know that prior to my time being on council, somebody made a donation for a town clock.
It's $200 and it's been in the bank since 2004 or 5.
There you go. Okay.
The city.
Right.
No, it got moved. It got moved.
It's so far as I know, the last time I saw it, it was still sitting there as a town clock when we were thinking about doing a town hall, because we were going to utilize the town clock with the town hall. But anyway, so if that happened, have the laws changed? Because at that time was, I assume that individual got a tax write-off.
No, they didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't. Okay.
No.
An individual cannot get a tax write-off by donating something to a local government.
Okay.
That's the whole reason they would want to give it to a 501c3, because then they would take it as an individual. A business can donate to a town and count it as a business expense.
Okay.
But in this case, to Ms. Doggett's point, that money's sitting there to this day, and the only thing it can be used for is a town clock.
Right.
And if we never do a town clock, it just sits there and sits there and sits there.
Right.
And it's the family that donated the town hall. It's who donated for the clock.
Mr. Reynolds, I like the idea of a 501c3 organization for the betterment and benefit of our town. And what I'm hearing, and I agree, it should be totally independent of our local government in our town. I encourage you to research and find out if there are organizations that you and the Founders Day is thinking of, and if we can use one of those that's already in place, it's already in action, and it meets the criteria that that the Founders Day is looking for, that's great. You don't have to start from scratch. If not, then maybe it's something that can be citizen-led that we can.
Greensboro Beautiful is I think what you're talking about, and they are very successful in Greensboro.
What's it called?
Greensboro Beautiful. I think that's the.
I have a question for the town attorney. Can we recommend just one, or should we have a list of 501c3s? I know we can't recommend one business. Somebody comes in and says, hey, can you tell me a land survey? We can't recommend one. We can give 2 or 3, but we can't do one. Would that be applicable to this? Would we need a couple of 501c3s?
It would be better to have a review of the ones that are structured in a way that they will provide the services you're looking for. Yeah.
But we would need more than one.
Yes, sir.
And that might be a good thing to follow up with like the league on to see if any other towns have got something similar in place.
Good idea, Tim's got a little work to do.
Any further discussion? Would anyone like to make a motion on item 10F?
I have one more comment.
Okay.
So I know we have homework to do, but I also know we got Founders Day and we have lots of people that sponsor and want to donate. And we do have some new things like our reptile pet your alligators and hold your snakes and creepy spiders that kids love, I don't, and things like that. So can we do this sooner than later, please?
Well, the great thing is if those 88 already exist, I mean, that
But
could
if
happen,
we could just
that could
have
happen
that list.
tomorrow.
Yeah,
I mean, it
we
could
can have
happen.
that list
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Exactly.
I don't know if we'll have it tomorrow, but we'll have it by next meeting. I'll put the events planner on it to get a list of them and start looking at their bylaws and their purpose, and
That's wonderful.
we can get a list of at least a handful.
Sorry,
hopefully.
Mr. Net.
I know a few of the people have kind of commented, I can make a real quick comment. I say, what you're trying to figure out is great, but I think we should probably keep it at a level as a PSA, public service announcement, say any 501(c)(3)s out there, we're interested. You know, just keep it that way, and then you're all neutral, you ain't gonna worry about all that other stuff. That's all.
Any other comments, or anyone like to make a motion on item 10F?
So do we need a motion to?
No, I don't think we should make a motion,
No.
but I have to ask.
No.
Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to item number 11. Mr. Manager, do you have any updates or any updates from the council?
I do. I have several, Mr. Mayor. First of all,
Thank you.
just gotta go get the little one. First of all, is Bandera. This last week, Madam Mayor Pro Tem and Councilman Clay and I met with all the stakeholders in the Bandera project. Pond Engineering, Piedmont Trail Conservancy, ARPA representatives, the state representative for the LWCF and part of grants. And we got in a room and I basically told them what the town's position was and that we need to do some severe value engineering to bring this project to close. And so we were able to collectively, and I mean collectively as a group, reduce that budget down by $1.5 million. I got the actual email yesterday on that evening late. And so that's being able to go forth with a good park that's palatable, so it's kind of balancing having a good park and being able to pull this project off. So just wanted to report on that. And we have a grant application in for another $500,000, so that may come down, even go up to $2 million in savings. So just wanted to mention that. A&Y Trail, I met with the chairman of our Open Trails committee this morning, and he's come up with another idea to possibly save some more money on that trail. At the same time, engineering is doing their final touches on the 75%. And I'll be meeting with Councilman Clay and Doggett this next week to consider their recommendation on that. There's been no change on the water system in the last month since my last update. I am now fully staffed. The town clerk starts Thursday morning. I can now formally announce he was the assistant town clerk at Stokesdale. a very talented young man. Yes, a young man. He writes for NPR about music. He has a master's in humanity, and he has experience. So we're very excited to bring Mason Winfrey into the fold, and he will be at your next meeting. I do have a staff meeting / retreat Thursday, so Jeff will be holding down the fort. Everybody else will be with me. So I just want to let y'all know, if you call and you don't get a hold of anybody Thursday. I just want to mention a sign-up day. Madam Mayor Pro Tem Devaney and I have been working diligently with that, and we're making progress. We met as late as 4 o'clock today, so we finally got the final sign to go to get quotes on the actual sign itself, not the pillars. And we're looking for brick mason contractors that we need to get some bids on for the pillars. So if anybody knows of anybody, if they'll contact me at Town Hall or let me know, we would appreciate that. And we'll keep updating you, but it's getting closer. It is moving forward. Let's see what else I have on here. I had the Grand Marshal and the Rabies and the Stokesdale Parade. We'll be getting logistics out to you, information about the Stokesdale Parade. Lineup time is 12 o'clock. We have your candy and your candy, and we'll have it with us there, and I'll get it to you. Also, your magnets for your vehicles, and I'll contact the rest of you that will be riding in my POV. And I think that is, one last thing. Probably most important. Councilman Clay and Councilman Robinson and I had the pleasure to go to a strategic planning workshop that was put on 2 weeks ago by the North Carolina League of Municipalities in Cary. I always like to report back to the rest of the board and to the public. I have been in local government 20 years, and I stood up and I meant what I said. I meant what I'm getting ready to say. It was the second best course I've ever taken. The other one was my county municipal administration, which was an 8-month course. It was fantastic. We sat at a round table, just Summerfield. Each town was at their own table, and we had to pick initiatives of what we thought we needed to do a strategic plan on. And it was condensed research from towns and local governments all across North Carolina and United States that had done strategic plans. And then we broke it down even further, and we ended up getting 16 initiatives. So we had objectives, and then we ended up with the initiatives, and then they actually did a typewritten outline for that, which I just sent to Councilman Clay and Robinson. So one of the things that we hope that you all are going to want to make a priority in our planning budget retreat next month is we do a strategic plan. One of the things that I think all of us realize is, and the public I'm sure realizing this too, is there's projects that don't carry on through multi-generational councils. The council of today is not the council of yesterday, and the council of tomorrow is not the council of today. But there are projects that need to keep plodding along and come to completion. I feel like if we had, and I'm not being disparaging or pointing fingers at anybody, but I feel like if we had a strategic plan for projects like Bandera, it would have been finished a long time ago versus a decade. And so one of the things our hope is that you'll make it a priority. We do a strategic plan, start that process in the first part of next year. And that's one of the reasons that you've been reached out about having some workshops to start talking about those things. So wonderful, wonderful class. I know Councilman Clay probably has some comments about it too, but it was well worth the time, money and resources that we spent away. And it was a very cost-effective course too. It wasn't but $110 a person. But they actually made it very cost-effective for the smaller population towns. So that is my report, Mr. Mayor. I'm sure Councilman Clay may want to dovetail off of that.
Great, thank you. Council?
I would encourage council that when opportunities come available to have meetings like this or participate with our manager in some of these events that the league is putting on, I would encourage you to do so. It not only did it provide a strategic planning event, 2-day event but they gave you a template to follow for towns. But it also gave us opportunity to network with a lot of other towns, a lot of other council, mayor, and you talk about other, how you do things and what are the challenges you're facing. So that's a byproduct of attending such events. I'm looking forward for us to start talking about some kind of strategic planning, because what we do and decide and discuss today will be, like Mr. Rollins said, is years to come. So you don't wait 2-3 years from now, you plan now for the future. And I think that we have an opportunity with council to be able to do that and move forward to it.
Anyone else?
You said the new clerk's gonna start next month,
Thursday.
Thursday?
Thursday morning, 8 o'clock.
Will Mr. Bacon be here next month?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Mr. Bacon will be here for a month's worth of turnover as a transition, like the rest of the positions have had transition periods. And then he's agreed to volunteer after that as he's available. So we can't kick him to the curb. We're going to keep him around.
I wanted to make sure, because I wanted to recognize you, this is your last one. And I've heard nothing but great stuff about you, and I know that you're probably excited to have a little more free time, but I had some folks the other day, you were talking to me that you're usually very critical, but they absolutely loved you, so thank you for everything you've done filling in for us. It's been great. I've heard nothing but great things about you. So.
Thank you.
I would also like to note that, excuse me, Jeff, that when he goes to, in this transition period, he's basically going to be working 100% on PRRs while the transition. So he's going to be there if Mason needs him for stuff and get Mason acclimated, but his focus for the next 30 days is going to be 100% on PRRs and asking questions, because I know we need to get them out. I met with a citizen today, and what I told him is transparency breeds trust, and we need a lot of that in this community. So,
Any other council updates?
One more thing, you were talking about the projects, making strategic plans for projects, and maybe I missed it, but I don't think so, but, when Heath started here on the council, one of his early ideas was to have a running tally of the projects. I thought it was an absolutely great idea to kind of show how things, we spent money on things over the course of time. I don't know if you could get that, restart it back up, or talk with the manager or not, but I'd love to see you kind of fulfill that. Because I think it was, you were getting it in place, and then we had a lot of change, and so I'd love to see that come back.
I agree. If I could, I've already talked with Mr. Rollins, and I told him about it, what the goal was, and that it's already council approved and something we need to do. But I also told him, I said, you have a lot on your plate for the first 3 months of your position. So let's pick this up in January and see if we can't make this happen for 2025.
Good. Yeah. And Heath, again, Heath is just like myself. We've only been on this year, but talking about networking earlier, Heath, we should nominate Heath as the town council networker. I think within just a month of us getting on, Heath had already known. He got to know council members all over neighboring counties and stuff. And so, again, I appreciate you going above and beyond, Heath, for all these things.
Thank you.
So.
Hearing no one else, would someone like to make a motion to recess to closed session?
I'll make a motion that we move to closed session to consult with an attorney employee or retained by the public body in order to preserve the attorney-client privileges provided under NCGS 143-318.11A3, address the amount of compensation and other material terms of employment contract, and to instruct staff or negotiating agents concerning the price and other material terms concerning real property as provided under NCGS 143-318.11A5, and consider the qualifications of competence, performance, character, fitness, conditions of appointment, or conditions of initial employment of individual public office or public officer or employee, or to hear or investigate a complaint, charge, or grievance by or against an individual public officer or employee under NCGS 143-318.11A6.
Have a motion, we have a second.
Second.
Further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
We stand in recess. All those who will be gone when we come out, thank you all for being here tonight. Someone like a motion to return to open session?
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion that we come back into open session, and we did discuss, we only discussed NCGS 143-318.11A3. Attorney-client privilege, that's what I was looking for before.
Got a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion is second, further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
We have returned to open session. Any business, or would anyone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we dismiss.
Dismiss. We have a motion to dismiss. Do we have a second?
Second.
Have a motion second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
We are dismissed.
I like it.
Thank you all. Merry Christmas.
Thank you.